Hey, what's up? Good morning, Roller Agenda listeners and Phoenix Roller followers. Well, I'm trying to make a video it's going to be explaining two things. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. Okay. So I'm going to talk about how I built my family and how I'm maintaining my family. And at the same time, I'm going to talk to you about crossing. So since I did a lot of crossing in and out here and there, it's going to be real important that how I do this. The fact still going to make this not if I do, it's how I do this. Because a lot of what I'm finna show you is pretty much crossing and my ideas and thoughts on crossing. And it maybe might give you guys some ideas on how to build your own family. Because the reason why I'm showing you this and why I always try to teach this is because nobody is really going to give you all the main pieces so you can follow exactly in their footsteps, at least not at once. You might get them over time, a piece here, a piece there, but you're not going to get them all at once. We're talking about giving. Even when they sell them to you, they're not going to sell them to you to the point whereas it affects their progress and helps you maintain or get to where they are. And that's very important to know. I realized that early in the game, so I never tried to get people's best birds so I can be where they are. I try to get the little pieces I can to help me build to get to the point where I'm close to where they are, going in the right direction. So in this video, I hope you guys get this. It's pretty much what I did. Almost 100% of what I did. But I want you guys to get it. You know what I'm saying? I want you guys to get it and realize it's what I did. And I'm gonna show it to you up close and personal. So got my little board out. Hope you guys can see it. So what I did, right? I'm gonna use color because color is gonna represent the different crosses I used, right? So we're gonna start with the main bird, which was the smoke birds, right? So we have the smoke birds right here. So we put them right here. Smoke. Okay, now traits, smoke traits. Kidding good, speed, frequency. Those are the pros, right? And then you got the cons, which is stuff, the stuff that I kind of try to go away from. I hope you guys can see this clearly. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. Without blocking me. Okay. Cons are going to be here. So sometimes they be too frequent. Fly above kid. Those are the main, and short in a row. So those are things those are the cons. So, and size was not consistent. Type was not consistent. So size and type was not consistent, right? So the first thing I did was bring in, you can fix the type and stuff like that. Make them say it won't be too frequent. To fix this part, I bring in this. The Pensum by Pensum Norwood strain. By way of Navarro, Jackson, and Speedy, stuff like that. But these birds bring in more speed, which go with the smoke, so I didn't lose speed. Kidding, stay good. Tight. Speed, kidding, and tight. That's what they bring in. So the problem when I did this, the birds became fast and kitty good, but they became this. Seldom. They weren't as frequent. So what I did was, when I did this one, once I got the ones that rode, still have had most of this stuff, but not as frequent. Now the birds became seldom and short. So what I did then, I said, I looked around a little bit, and I got a couple of birds from Henry Lumpkins up in High Desert. I bring in, it was 2 straight jack-in-net pigeons. 2 straight. So, I'll do this like this here. 2 jack-in-net pigeons, a hen and a cock. What that did was, the frequency came back, kitty remained, got some depth, but on the roll, wing placement. The wings dropped down a little bit, so the wings were out a little bit. So what I did was I kept a few that didn't have this and worked them into the line. But, my bad, this was supposed to be red. This was supposed to be in red. Anytime you see red, it represents the jack-in-net / Norm Reed / Higgins, all that stuff all in one. So I brought all them birds in for the same purpose. So when I did this mating, my board looked like this now. Let me show you. My board changed. This is what my board looked like. First maiden was a Pensum. Next maiden, from these, when I did this maiden, I took these, that cross went here. Okay. Reed, Higgins, jack-in-net. Now, this is basically what I work with right now, this cross. When I did this to this, from that came the birds I'm pretty much using right now. That to that, and that goes here. So now we got smoke. Pensum. I'm going to call these RHJ. Now, depending on these birds' performance, on their performance right here, it decides where I go next. After I did this maybe once, I didn't do this again. I never used these no more until later, just to try stuff out. But I don't need these no more. These right here were the most important ones I took here. So these are the birds. Now, depending on how these birds come out, it determines where I go next. Let's say if I make these birds that come out with more of the smoke, right? They come out with more of the smoke trace. You guys got to be able to see that. So they come out with more of the smoke trace. There's some mates I did like this. I took these birds straight to these birds. After I did the original straight jacking mating, I never went back that way again either. So straight now. Depending on how these birds come out, if they come out more on the smoke side, they'll go back here. I'll take them back there. If these birds come out more on this side of these birds here, they'll go to these birds. These birds will go here. They go back here. And I just keep going back and forth and forth. Now, the birds responsible, Smoke, her brother, her sister, her daughters, stuff like that. Those all fit in here. They went to all these different birds. So I was doing all these different matings at the same exact time. So I had an array of all these mixtures. I decide which birds were responsible for giving the traits I wanted exactly and which ones they gave me too much or an excessive part of either one. And I decided to exclude or include. So these were the key birds. But now most of the birds are here. This is the triangle I'm working with now. This right here haven't been done since 90. When was that last one I did? 97. Haven't did this part since 97. So haven't made these birds since 97. So I never took them back to this until recently, but I didn't bring them into the loft. But this, with that cross, these ones right here to this was a start. Now what I'm doing now is just maintaining this. But I added some birds from Mike Walden, which go back to Danny Hunter, which go back to Straight Jack and Ned, which is another way I went. So, and these did really good right here. These were good. So now, to this, actually it went to this. Actually, these birds went to this mating. This the key mating. These are key birds right here. That's the key. All the birds gonna go back to. They haven't added no more pencil birds since 97. And this is what, 2022. But I keep using these in this cross. This was the main cross. This was the first cross, and them birds went to these, and they made these, and these were the main birds. So I take them back here, or I even take some to here, just to maintain. So I brought in the Mike Walden birds recently, but last year I tried one, and it just made the birds more of what I already had, but it made the percentages go up. So it's just different mates between all this right here, and I don't go outside of this. Even the birds I brought in from Mike Walden, which go back to Danny Horner, which go back to Jack and Ed. So pretty much the same, just a different source. And I started to keep refreshing the blood like that, but I only bring in what? A cock and a hen, but I never used the hen yet. I reused the cock only. I haven't used the hen yet. My club member used the hen, but I will try her next year. And I just acquired 2 more from Choo Choo. 2 he had, so I got those 2. I'm going to try those out. See how they fit. I know they'll fit in. I almost know it, but we'll see to what degree. So that's pretty much how I did it. But this is the base. Everything got to go through this stuff. Well, this stuff now. These are originals. Now, no more of these birds are alive. I use a son off 3, a daughter off 3, and I use right now what's included is a cock from worm. It's still in there. Some of that blood is still in there. Not a lot. But I know when I use that cock that came from worm, when I take it back, the birds get a little bit on the hot side. Not deep, they get hot. So I gotta watch how I breed those. And I got a few birds from Johnny Smith that's fitting this equation too. But the bird to make the biggest impact recently, a few years ago, was Platinum, but that was 2008-9. but I no longer use him. I use his I use three sons, 2 daughters off him right now. But most of my grandkids. And it's another bird I got called the big head red check, was a bird Efren Lopez raised, which when I took a bird like this, he took that to 3/4 of the 1080 cock, 367, and made me a cock. And that cock is in everything right now. We call it the big head red check for those who might heard that name, but that was a serious bird. So all that does is give you an idea of what I did. I mean, you have to follow the same routine or the same process, but that's just what I did. That's the basic. Now I can start writing down band numbers and all that kind of stuff and tell you which birds was here for what and why I use this and why I like this and why I didn't like this one. I can tell you all that. But those kind of conversations are reserved for when I actually have a camera person where I can go through all that step by step, what I did and why I didn't use this and why I kept this, stuff like that. I know why each bird stayed, but there's a few birds that I think I got rid of prematurely. Not really prematurely. I just think if I had them now, I can even do more with them, which would be the weapon cock. I have more weapon hen around than I have the weapon cock, but I bred the weapon cock more. Go figure. And the cock I use a lot was the Bull-Eye Spaniel, which is the 45 blood, jammed up pretty much at the top, but the bottom side was the jack on this side, the Jerry I think got from San Diego. And them birds changed everything. My point was I was trying to have the best of both worlds, which was coming around, was going along real good until I hit that snag in 2007 with the government, with the hawk stuff. That kind of threw me for a loop. Because at the same time, it derailed my whole program, flying and breeding, and derailed my business. So, and that kind of set me back for a good while. And the emotional state you go through when you go through stuff like that. Yeah, just a little more emotional state you go through. Because now your whole livelihood is what, it keeps you going and every day got interrupted in the name of a bird of a prey, an animal. So I used to ask myself, the government hold the survival of a bird of prey that's not indigenous to this area more important than my life and me taking care of my family. So I had to ask some issues with the government for a while. I didn't understand how they could think that was more important than me having a business and feeding my family versus the hawk, bird of prey. Yeah, I had to go through. I struggled with that, trying to get my concept, wrap my mind around how the government think that's more important. And there's they probably gonna watch this video and one of them little assholes, I'm calling you an asshole, gonna say, yeah, I think it is worth more than your life. Yeah, but they won't say that in public on news. They won't say that because it's probably in their career. But anyway, I had to struggle with that. Then it seemed like after that happened, it got worse. It seemed like they was releasing them in my neighborhood on purpose to get me to bite again. But I didn't. I just let it be. Then I just stepped back from the hobby for a while, which you guys seen. I made that video. And I stepped back for a while, let them do what they do. And I said, I'm getting back in. This is what I like to do. I didn't feel, even though I wasn't sad or nothing, I was cool. I didn't feel alive. And at the same time, I was going with issues with our property, with the family. Someone wanted to sell the house. I wanted to keep it. Then on top of that, I was going through a divorce. So all that happened. That's life. But the game of roll had to get back going, had to continue. And this is a game of roll. That's what it is. Because everybody's striving to be the best or whatever their personal goals are. Everybody's doing that. So I got back on track, and then I got back at the competition a few years later, which was last year. It wasn't a few years ago, it was last year. But I still had pigeons. In 2018, I didn't fly not a single pigeon. The last time I did that, I didn't fly a single pigeon when I was 19 years old. 19. I'm 58 now. I was 19 years old last time I went through down to fly single pigeon. And I started playing basketball serious, traveling a little bit. I gave them to my little brother, and I just went on. But anyway, so you guys see what I did. This is just the basic. This is not the details. The details will take a little more, and now we have to have a bigger board and camera placement to be just right so I can write in the details of what happened. But this is the basic. This is just the basic. It's not 100%. It's 100% correct, but it's not. So, no, I actually hit the button to stop it. I didn't mean to do that. I'll connect these videos later. So, you got an idea what I'm doing, what I did. So, now, let me show you something else. Let me show you guys a little something else. Representations. Let me show you something. Lay this flat where I can have a good writing surface. So we're going to put this down like this. So you can see what everybody's job was. Smoke. Speed, frequency, kidding, humming, pencil brush I use. Speed, kidding, stability, okay. Kit. This give you an idea. Hold on. Sorry about that. I give you an idea. So I combine all these. I need the best of all these worlds. To give you an idea why I use these. And you look through it like this, like this, like this. There you look at it. That's my current family right now. I feel that with all this together in one is better than any of these by themselves, in my opinion. For me. That's for me. So you see that? And that's all this combined is what's known as a smoke family, pretty much. There are some people gonna say, "Oh, but the smoke birds had this." Smoke birds still had pensum and had what's them birds called? Full house birds, pensum birds. Okay, these pensum birds are all Norwood based. They come from Arnold Jackson, Juan Navarro, and Speedy Boykins. That's where the most of the birds that made these birds that I use come from. Those are ones that still involved in the family right now. And these birds came from, I had a cock from Reed, hen from Reed, some birds from Jerry, 2 birds from Jackanet that came from Henry Lincoln. That's it. All this stuff is in the birds right now. Whether it be white heat, triple I3, 16, 1080, 806, all them. These I can't really say exactly. I just know go back to the bird that the Juan Navarro and Arnold Jackson got from Cornell back in the day, and a few I got from Speedy also back in the day. And it's the smoke birds, which is Full House and Pensum, also 119 blood by late Doug Brown. So that's it. So now I'm use other variations of this side from the other fanciers. I haven't brought any more of this into I bred some, but I haven't used them inside the loft yet. They're still out. I bred them, and I flew them, and I sent them to my club members. I will get them if I need them. If I don't need them, they'll keep them. And there's no such thing as a straight smoke bird anymore. These birds are no more. I got some more of these, but they all mixed in here. So I just call the family still smoke. It's still my breed. I can call it what I want to call it. So I just keep it a smoke. Keep it simple. So all you guys that be guessing what they are, this is what they are. So that's it. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I wanted to do this a long time ago. I just let everybody know why I selected certain birds. The reason, let me tell you, 2 reasons why I never got people's exact birds. One, I didn't see the total picture I wanted to see from a fancy may say I want his birds exactly. It's something that was missing, and this person, something I think could have been better. Something could have been better. Still the best kit I think I've seen besides some of the ones I flew and the ones I've seen fly recently, still are that Norm Reed kit he flew back in the day. And it's a kit Jerry flew at one time. It's a really good kit Robert Parker flew at one time. Tim Decker flew at one time. So I had some birds that came from Tim Decker too. That were Pensum birds. You know what I'm saying? The 96, 48 and stuff like that. But I don't have that line anymore. It's not even nowhere in the birds I have right now. So I can't mention those birds. There's other birds I use. Yeah, I use some other birds, but they're not involved in what I'm doing right now. So there's no need for me to mention them. If I did another video, a straight long-term video, I will talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I will mention those birds and why I use them and why I didn't use them. I'll tell you why. But this is what's involved in what I'm doing right now. This. The only thing new in here, really new, is Mike Walden, but that's still like a Jack and Net thing. Because when I went to his house, some of the traits his birds had, I like in my birds. And I have in my birds. I just wanted to double up on that. But everybody know now. That's it. That's all. So until next time, select, breed, fly, select again, and repeat. Keep London out. Peace.